Okay, so hi and welcome back. So, today what we're going to be learning about is if statements in PHP. So, if statements basically say if something something do something, and if it's not that, then do something else. So that's general. That's just like the most basic understanding of what it is. So you could say if this. Well, this isn't the correct syntax, but you could just say if the sky is blue, then I don't know, say the sky is blue. Otherwise, say it's not blue. That's not the correct syntax, but that's kind of the way an if statement will work. It'll say if something, which is in this case the sky is blue, then it'll do something, or else, or otherwise it will do something else. So you could sort of like say. So here's the okay, forget that. Here's the correct syntax for an if statement. So in PHP, the correct syntax for an if statement is if, and then two parentheses, and then this is where your condition goes. And just in case you don't know, a condition is basically what you're comparing. So you're saying if something is something. So in the last example, it was if the sky is blue, then we want to do something. So then instead of just saying then do something, what we say in PHP is we don't say it, we use the two curly brackets, or curly braces or whatever. So this is the sort of the equivalent of then, and then whatever's in here is what you want it to say. So the curly brace kind of means then, and then last time we said otherwise, and since we now know that means then, then do something. So we can't say otherwise because that's not a valid thing in PHP. So instead of saying otherwise, we just say else. So that's how an if statement is structured. So if something, which is in the curly braces, so if your condition is true, then run this first block. If it's false, run this block. So then we could test this out. So we could just say we could actually just say sky. So we could create a variable called sky, and it could equal the sky is blue, like I just said. So we can basically just do the example we just said, or the example I just created, but we can create it in the correct PHP syntax. So it will actually run on our page. So we created a variable called if, or called sky, and it says the sky is blue. So then we can just say if sky, and by default, if you say if and then the name of like a variable, it will say if the variable is true. So it will basically, if you said if sky, it will basically say if the sky is blue. Or you could say if sky, and then if you wanted this first block to be if the condition was false, so if the sky wasn't blue, all you'd have to say is if this if sky, which is the variable. So remember in the last video I said 1 equals you're assigning something, and 2 you're comparing something. So in an if statement you're comparing the variable sky to something. So if the variable sky equals this string, so we can just say ground, and obviously, obviously this string is not the same as this string. Even though it's a word, it's still one word, it's still a string. So since this condition is false, we could just say echo false, and then we could say echo true. So if this string sky equals this string round, then we are echoing, oh wait, Yeah, okay. So since sky, we know sky doesn't equal ground because sky equals the sky's blue, we're going to get false. And if I was to, well, basically, we'll go back and we'll echo that first. So, true. Okay, I'm sorry, I just made a mistake. So, what we said is if sky equals ground, echo false, which sky obviously doesn't equal, the variable sky obviously doesn't equal ground, so it's echoed true, which is why we got true. But if I was to change this to just sky, which means if this basically, instead of just writing sky equals sky, we can just write sky because that's the default, that's what it means. That's what PHP will think we said if we just wrote sky. So now we'll get false. So if we said if sky, so if the sky is blue, we could say, we could just say obviously. I think I spelled that wrong, but I don't know, it doesn't matter. So we could say obviously it is blue, and then otherwise we could say you're wrong, the sky is always blue. I don't know, anything. So now it's gonna say obviously. And then we could say, okay, so I'm gonna introduce you to a couple of other things. So we can say in PHP, instead of saying if something equals something, we could also say if it doesn't equal something. And to do that, instead of 2 equals, we just say exclamation mark equals. And that means doesn't equal. So if sky doesn't equal nothing, just say that. Then echo obviously. So once again, if I refresh the page, this shouldn't change. And if I just change this to sky, we should get you're wrong, the sky is always blue. Okay. So that's basically what an if statement does. It just compares to one thing with another. So that's basically it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And thanks. I'll see you next time.